Pine Grove News Live, 6 o'clock, right on the dot here on the East Coast. I hope you can hear me. Got the fans going. So, in any case, 6 o'clock. Let's see, it's 80 degrees right now, and we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. I'm just seeing how long it will be in effect. In any case, it's a feel like 84. Anyway, it's very humid. It's gotten a little better, but hopefully the storm that's coming in will make it a-okay. Oh, thank you. Yep, always forget something. Thank you, Laura. Finally caught it early this time, or you caught it early. So, anyways, I think turning off the volume so you don't hear an echo will take care of that. That's guess what I was thinking. But anyway, should be off now. Blessing, sister. So, anyways, it's a storm that we normally get. It's summertime. Gets hot. We have thunderstorms. It is still, hurricane season. Actually, we've got a couple of them in the West Pacific. One called the Kima and Kurosa, taking aim for China, Japan, South Korea. Yeah, they're getting hammered. Meantime, we're just getting threats of thunderstorms. And we've actually got a threat of tornadoes forming, but how do they know that? Really? Unless they can go out and, I don't know. So I heard that there, from the weather, that there was something big that happened. I'm trying to think of where it happened. Was it Nebraska again? Tennessee last night? That what was going on, Hen? You guys got hammered last night? I don't know if I remember if you're from Tennessee or not. Yeah, but so there's storms apparently. I don't have the article. I don't think they're calling it a tsunami that formed overhead in the middle of our country again. Two fronts meeting each other, and I guess that's what we're going to be getting here shortly. Of course, it was supposed to be here, early afternoon. It is now, 6:03 p.m. here, and the sky's a little cloudy. Looking at the radar, and except for what's happening in New York right now, we may hear a distant rumble. That's about it. I'm watching the radar, and it's just too far and then few between these little storms. So anyways, not to say, because I can hear the thunder right now, but it's at least a mile and a half away from us. All right. I am going to be taking water during this news broadcast. Man, I just dried up today. It was just terrible. Go out from painting some bedrooms today, and that was just walk outside. It was like walking into a. It was like walking into if you ever done it. I haven't. I don't know, kind of soaked cotton. You know what I mean? Just walking out into a mist. In any case, there goes the door alarm. More thunder. So what I want to report here, I want to report, this is, well, we have other severe weather. Let's go with that first. This was, and this is from the Daily Mail. Okay, what did we talk about the Daily Mail 2 days ago? What did we say? This is Daily Mail UK. Okay, this is in the UK. They're the ones that put the news out first of these, the Dayton, the things that were going on in Dayton and in Texas over the weekend. And it's Wednesday already, and I'm done with that news. People are still talking about it, obviously. Um, just now they're starting to change the picture of the guy, what he looked like. Just all kinds of strange things going on now. But anyway, this is from the Daily Mail. This is our weather, okay, in the United States. Hundreds of flights canceled and delayed at JFK, Newark, and LaGuardia airports as huge thunderstorms sweep across the East Coast and Midwest, bringing the threat of flash flooding, tornadoes, and even hail. Yeah, afraid so, folks. It's still summertime. Still summertime. And yes, seems like these storms hold an awful lot more water these days, but no engineering involved in there, is it? Of course not. So, let's see, Burke, South Dakota. Yeah, that's what I heard today. South Dakota, apparently buildings were destroyed, including the school, because of these winds. I guess some of them were actually as high as 70 miles per hour. Another gust of 40. So that's that. What else we got? We got a heat wave in Japan. Of course, we still have it in Europe, right? And heck, we've been going through 85 plus for the past week, but it's August. I expect that in August. I expect that in July too. But yeah, we went through our 95 plus days a week ago. So this heat wave sends 18,347 to the hospital. Claims 57 lives in 7 days. Is that where all these storms are heading? These two tropical storms? Let me just go check that a second. Yeah. Well, I hope it cools it off for them, but that's not going to be good news with all these two storms back to back coming at them. Pray for the people of Japan, man. And then China afterwards, Taiwan, South Korea. All right, so did you guys all catch this today? Did it happen? Did that FEMA test happen? Okay, I turned on the radio at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I waited until about 2:25, 2:30, somewhere in there. I did not get, at least on the channel I was listening to, and you would figure they'd broadcast on just about all of them, a FEMA test that was supposed to happen today at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anybody else hear it? I talk to World Watchman like I normally do every day before the news. He claims that he heard something. He's not sure what. He claims that there are other people that may have said that they've heard it. Was it just for the West Coast or what? I thought it was a countrywide FEMA test, just like those regular emergency broadcast tests. Anyways, I haven't heard anything. I didn't hear it go off. Nothing. I didn't change the channels, but you would figure it'd be on the radio or on the TV. Nobody's mentioned it. So I don't really know if it didn't happen. It's strange if it would just happen on the West Coast. They're the ones that probably need it with everything that's going on over there, with all those fault lines shaking and shimmering. I mean, I don't know. So we got that. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, let's talk about this because, I normally hear about this stuff. I was looking at, what do you call it, Global Incident Map. Everyone can go there. It's a free program called globalincidentmap.com. Right now, I just got it highlighted for, diseases, things like that popping up. I mean, look at this. So this is the hill, from the hill. Philippines declares epidemic after more than 600 die from dengue fever. Okay, that's 600 just from January until I think it was June, maybe July. No, I said right here, January and June. 146,000 cases of this dengue fever. I don't know how you actually pronounce it. I think it's dengue, dengue, I don't know. But it just seems like a lot of people dying with this dengue fever. 146,000 cases. And, it's mosquito borne or what do you call it? Not born. It's transmitted by mosquitoes. And being the tropics, Philippines, I would expect that they'd at least be spraying for these things. 600, just a lot of people. So I went over to the the global incident map, and I just, started moving my little mouse highlighter over these blinking lights. There is just a lot of dengue fever all over the world. Is it dengue fever? Because remember, I put a article or a YouTube out there by Florida Maquis, and he talked about he talks a lot about the Democratic Democratic Republic of the Congo, where this supposedly Ebola had a big, huge outbreak. It's been going for like 2 years. They got it up to almost 2,000 people now that have died from that. And it has spread into a big city. I'm trying to get the name of it. Let's see. 850 in India. Dengue fever is all over India. 850 in this part of India. It's just all over there. India tested positive for dengue. Another 24. You can just keep going around. You can just click all these numbers. Still trying to find the name of that city that's right next to the Congo. And it's actually a city. It's not, Africa that we normally think of, sprawling ranges, periodic brush, and a couple trees. I don't know why my computer just refreshed. Probably monitoring, but anyway, that's a lot. The department said that the number of recorded cases is 98% higher than the same period in 2018 than last year. So during the week of July 14th to July 20th, the country documented 10,500 cases in 6 days, 71% higher than the same period in 2018 than last year. So I don't know what's going on there. The reason why I mentioned Florida Maquis is because he came out and we were talking about LA and the 4 different diseases that are popping up with the same characteristic rash that people get, with Ebola, with the swine flu, and with the dengue fever. And there's one more, and I forget the name of it at the moment. they all have the same characteristic rash, which you get within, what is it, 2 to 5 days? See, that's the thing with this. This thing, I guess it incubates within 2 days, starts showing. All right, let's just read this for a second. The dengue is a viral infection spread by mosquitoes that can cause joint pain, vomiting, nausea, and a rash. Most of that, except for the rash, it's just like flu symptoms, right? I mean, could be from the same family of diseases. So in extreme cases, it can cause breathing problems and hemorrhagic and organ failure. But it's not going to be called dengue fever at that point. There's 3 or 4 different stages, and they call it different. When you get to the hemorrhagic part of it, that's the thing that we got to think about and talk. I got to find out some information, because when they start talking about hemorrhagic symptoms, I mean, bleeding from the eyes, right? Other orifices. I mean, that's what Ebola does. That is a hemorrhagic disease. That's what happens. You just bleed from the inside out. Everything in your body just kind of dissolves. I mean, Florida Marquis had talked about, I believe it was the Philippines, when they had that couple down there, and one of the bodies, they couldn't send it back or something or couldn't put it on display or something, because of the speed at which the body inside was just, degrading to like just water. So they couldn't perform an autopsy. But anyway, folks, we got to watch out for this and keep an eye on this thing. This is a world problem, this dengue fever. The Ebola is as well, and it may be disguised as the dengue fever. We proved that it has the same symptoms. It has the same rashes, but instead, it was measles. The 4th one was measles, because that is also, and they're not talking about that a lot right now, right? Measles is also a worldwide problem, and it has the same symptoms. And you won't get the rash, I guess, until you've actually know. That's when you actually really do know that you got one of these 4. I don't know about the first couple symptoms with measles, okay? I don't know if the symptoms associated with measles is actually, like the flu, headache, joint pain, stomach problems. I don't know if that is. So I'm just going on what I've learned on it. So if it's not helpful, just go Google, man. You'll find out a lot. And there are other search engines too besides Google. I almost went over that with everyone. I just put that link in there. There are many other search engines besides Google. You don't have to go to Google. It's easy. It's convenient. It's attached to, everything else you're using. So, but I may have to go to another search engine. I know that my videos are not being put out there. The YouTube videos. I haven't grown. I've been staying at 47 members for the past 3 months, maybe longer. The last time I was out there, after it reached a certain amount of people, it just grew. It grew up to 2,000, and then they cut me off. Then they shut the whole page down, the countdown. That's when they were weeding out a lot of people. In any case, so, if you can't find it, somebody goes in there, I tell them what to search for. In Facebook, I posted it. I go search for PNG Live. That's what it's called when I'm live. Just PNG stands for Pine Grove News, or PGN. I'm sorry. I keep saying PNG. It's PGN live. Anyways, so it's a big concern. I mean, this is all, prophecy. It's all in Matthew 24. I mean, pestilences and famines. I mean, I don't know why my brother over there in Northern California insists that there is some kind of world famine going on right now. Big, huge food shortages, he's saying, and I don't get it. He has one or two sources and he goes to them. But I don't know. Let's put it out there. Is there shortages in your area, and of what? I mean, heck, he goes shopping on Mondays after they have all their sales on the weekends, and he wonders why the shelves are empty when he goes shopping at 6 o'clock in the morning. But that's not what he's claiming, that, food shortages. He's claiming, oh, yeah, I've got this farmer I talked to, and she says, yeah, we're worried about our crop coming in, and we're worried about the end of August, we might get a frost. I mean, that's just farmers. They worry a lot for their crops. And those crops are not guaranteed every year. Doesn't mean that they grow every year. So I don't know where people are claiming that there are shortages of corn and hay, and they're feeding supposedly cows, and they're feeding them other things that besides the hay, obviously, and the corn. I don't remember exactly what he said that they're feeding them, but it's not proper stuff. And I know that the meat market, the cattle business is going to go through a shock, because that is part of the tariff. The agricultural area of it, with including our beef that we ship, that we export to China, is part of that trade war, the tariff war. I mean, same thing. So, I mean, I think it's just a lot of speculation on a lot of people's part. And yeah, it may come to that. It may come to the fact that when they can't put out 100% of their crop like they normally do. I mean, there's some, and we're going to start getting the hard rains. Some people claim, it's only 12% that haven't been able to put in their crop, and like 48% that can't put out a full crop. The hell, this has happened before. So you got to know, between that and all these things in Walmart and everything else that they put out there to try to scare the heck out of you, that is their agenda. Kill, steal, and destroy. What better than to create chaos and fear? Well, here's some other things. I might have to get shut down here. I was watching the storm. I didn't think I was due for another hour or so, but everything's picking up. So let me go. I got to go to the radar and see what this is. It's just passing. Got a big, huge hole. All right, just a warning, just in case the radar isn't right. But anyway, what else is going on? These fears. Let's go to this one. This I found the other day. Florida man arrested for a threat to shoot up a Walmart. Said he was intrigued by the El Paso, Dayton murderers. We're always going to have copycats. And here's this one from End Time Headlines. Or mass shooting prevented. Disturbed man had an AK-47, 17 loaded mags, and then his grandma stepped in. Yeah, his grandma called. So this guy was in Texas. The other guy was in Florida. And then, let's see, here we go. Here's another one. Here's from Kansas City. Okay, this is 911 reporting, and it was yesterday. Cops respond to shooting at a Walmart in Kansas City. Citizens asked to avoid the area. I mean, I don't know. What is it? Is it the undercover, the sleeper cells finally waking up? And anyway, Raymore, Missouri. Tonight, and that was yesterday, around 6:20 p.m., Raymond police responded to a shooting in the parking lot of a Walmart. At least one person was injured and the suspect fled the scene. Police investigating had residents to avoid the area. So, and that's all we got. There's a couple, I guess they're Twitter feeds down at the bottom. Let's see, what else? Oh, this one. This one is kind of silly. Okay, well, this is from the week. Shooting, false alarms, all the way we live now. But this one, I thought it was kind of funny in a sense until somebody gets hurt, gets stampeded. But this is also from Breaking 911 and a stampede in Times Square. Okay, after a motorcycle backfiring is mistaken for an active shooter. Tell me that there is not fear in this country now. I don't understand it, but there's fear. Yeah, people are, they probably still have the weekend shootings in their head. And then Kansas City one, which I didn't hear about, obviously, until today. I don't know how true it is. And then the other Walmart. Why the attraction there? Is it because all the poor people have to shop there? Yeah, we get all the foods that they recycle from the underground bunkers. When they recycle their food, they put new stamps on them and they give them to us. You buy them. I mean, the expirations on them, if you've been noticing them, are within days. Most of them. Most of that food goes bad if you don't eat it right away within a couple days. The bread, everything. That's what I've been noticing. I mean, the food's still good, but it's only good for a couple days. I mean, that's fine. That's all us poor people can get. So anyway, back to the Times Square. People walking in Times Square. They were sent into a widespread panic Tuesday night after what sounded like multiple gunshots rang out in the crowded tourist destination, only later to be ruled as motorcycle backfire. We'll play this little video right here for everyone to see. I think it's kind of
mass panic in Times Square. Nearly 24 people were hurt during the chaotic scene last night. It turns out a backfiring motorcycle is what sent people running for their lives. CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis joins us live from Times Square with more. Jenna.
Yes, but pay attention. Okay, I don't know if you all heard this. Let me go. I gotta go change something here so the people at Mixler can hear it as well. It makes the video sound bad, but we're gonna go do it anyway. All right, play it again.
Triggered mass panic in Times Square. Nearly 24 people were hurt during the chaotic scene last night. It turns out a backfiring motorcycle is what sent people running for their lives. CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis joins us live from Times Square with more. Jenna.
You need to pay attention to what they say here. What happened during the stampede, okay? There's one thing in particular that they mention in here that has a lot to do with the Ohio shooting.
Jessica and Mary, the incident was a false alarm, but it shows the frightening sign of the times. Witnesses say the second they heard popping noises, they thought it was another active shooter, resulting in this entire area clearing out. People screaming, scattering, widespread panic in Times Square after mistaking the sounds of a motorcycle backfiring for the worst.
And we just hear pop, 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 pop. I thought that somebody just came in and started shooting people. It sounded like gunshots. It definitely did. 2 or 3,000 people maybe just like dissipated into like thin air.
Police say just before 10 p.m., a motorcycle passing through the area of 7th Avenue and 46th Street in a group of motorcycles backfired, resulting in a stampede of people running for their lives, or so they believe.
They were all running, man, running everywhere.
Listen.
Man, almost got hit by cars and everything. They jumped out of their shoes. They were
Did you hear that? They jumped out of their shoes. Huh. I mean, just referencing, just thinking about the Dayton shooting where they had a pile of shoes in one area. Just funny, just weird. People running everywhere, screaming, stamping, dozen people were injured because of their, I don't know about you, but things like this, just I have no fear about them at all. Maybe I'm stupid for not thinking that I'm going to run away. I'm not, I wouldn't do that at all. I would not run away. I wouldn't be in fear of it. I wouldn't run away. If I'm going to get shot, if it ended up being somebody shooting, but it wasn't, it was a motorcycle backfiring. If I'm going to get shot, then it's the Lord's will. I have enough faith to believe that that's what will happen. I hold firmly to Psalms 91. I mean, I wish I could recite it. That thing I'm still asking for the Holy Spirit to give me, that I can recite it. Just go to Psalms 91. I mean, you're going to see these things, and we are seeing them. People dying all around us. But nothing will hurt us as long as we're, doing what we're supposed to be doing. And that's just believing in Jesus Christ and following his ways. And he tells you not to fear. There's no reason to fear. I mean, if it's your turn to go, it's your turn to go. You get shot, you die. Guess where you go? You're instantly in heaven, instantly with Jesus. You think I'm going to be fearful of that? No. I might think about being, and maybe I thought about these things before. I don't think about that now. That's when you take it apart, and you start taking it apart and thinking about it, then, it just turns out to be bad thoughts. Yeah, what if you get shot and you didn't die? You ended up being crippled your whole life. And, well, then that's what the Lord wanted to happen. It's got to be there's going to be some blessing out of it. He blesses everybody who goes through these trials. If you make it through the trials, well, there's always something that we learn. There's always a blessing afterwards. It's true. But anyway, running for your lives, scared, fearful. That's where most of people in America are right now. And so, I don't know what to tell those people, except that they don't have to have that fear. I mean, the only way you have that fear is that you fear that you're going to, get hurt or die, and you won't be able to continue on your sinful life and on the wrong path, the one you think you enjoy, the one you think is the right path. It's not. I've had a lot more wrong things happen than good things happen. And the only good things that have happened, I'm now realizing it was the Lord back then when I didn't know him that well. Showing me now that was him even then. I could tell you stories. I could tell you, I'm going to tell you this one very brief one, okay? This is about in a dead-end job, making little money, my wife at home pregnant. We have $320 or $300, I guess it was, in bills that were immediately past due or past due. And they had to get paid, and we had nowhere to turn to get the money. And my wife calls me up on the phone at work one time, and I told her the only reason you should call me at work is if there's an emergency. So I'm thinking there's an emergency, something happened. She doesn't call me. She used to call me and say hello, and I just can't be interrupted at work like that. But anyway, she said, hey, we got a check in the mail for $320. Yeah, got a check in the mail for $320. And the only way that could have happened is with divine intervention. How could anybody know? I mean, this was from a job that I had. I was a laborer on a year or two back, and I was working on a state job, and the people that were paying me weren't paying me enough. The inspector found out that I was talking to that day, and I went and got back pay for that, $320. You know, enough to pay our bills and to go out to dinner at McDonald's. That's when it was probably, you could probably get 2 cheeseburgers and a soda and fries for under $1. Yep. I don't care if I'm dating myself or not, but that's it. So, anyways, folks, I guess I don't need to go on to the rest of this news. I just wanted to talk about the things that are going on in China, Hong Kong. Chinese military are amassing on the border of Hong Kong. There's been talk a lot about China going in there and just taking everything over. And there's going to be a few people that are going to die. You know, obviously the things that happened over the weekend is the elites or the Democrats or whoever, and Trump is joining them too, in trying to create gun laws, gun restrictions. Okay, and I wanted to see, I can't believe this is coming from Trump, but I guess the true stripes will come out now, especially if he knows that he's going to win the next round. But I wanted to show you our Declaration of Independence. I wanted to bring up the Bill of Rights. I mean, the Second Amendment, right? The one that talks about the gun laws. Was that it? Yeah. I'm just trying to read if it was the top one. Something I forgot to download. What was it? You got, that's the Declaration of Independence. It was just telling you that we're succeeding from the UK, okay, and the Bill of Rights with 12 amendments to the Constitution. That's what I wanted to see. Where did that go? The U.S. Constitution. Probably opened something up on it. And, yeah, erased it. But basically what it says is that the Second Amendment says that we have the right to bear arms and not to be infringed upon it. Nothing is, so to me that means we have the right to bear arms to protect ourselves, and nobody can make other laws infringing that right. And that's what they're doing with these things that go on. You know, like Trump said, where did he say it? He said, you know, just like they used to say, you know, I can't let a good shooting go to waste, or a good, yeah. Where is it that he's saying this? But you know what I mean. Can't let a good opportunity go to waste, and that's what he's doing. He's joining, you know, the other ones. This red flag gun control bill. Gun control. There's not supposed to be any infringement on that right. So where are the patriots? You know, where's the militia? Going to be needing them soon. How are we letting these people make these gun laws against us? How is that possible? It's in our Constitution that they can't. So you need to know that that's their plan. It's always been their plan. They want to take these rifles away from us, these AK-47s, these machine gun, whatever, rifles. That's all they're using in these shootings, supposedly, is these rifles. I wouldn't use a rifle in a close quarter like Walmart, going down the aisles where there's people. Why would you use a rifle? Just use a pistol. Short distances. A rifle is it's a long gun for a long distance shooting. You know what I mean. I don't use weapons that I've held weapons before. I've shot from a rifle before when I was younger, and my grandfather, let me shoot a pistol before. And there's a big difference. You don't go shooting a rifle in close quarters. I don't think it'll be just too much. That and the bullets, but that's not what I would want to talk. I didn't want to get into talking about that again. But I'm going over this stuff again. Every American should. They should go over the Declaration of Independence, especially the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all its amendments. I guess go over the last two I mentioned before the first. You can skip the Declaration of Independence. That's just stating our independence from the UK, from the Queen, which we're still not separated enough from them. But get into the U.S. Constitution. That's what we should be following. That is what our country was founded on. And we shouldn't be letting it be torn apart. That's what we shouldn't let be done. Not let these people go out and put people in bad situations and call these so-called evil people, what do you call them? Racist, okay? And now they're calling them all racist, or because they're white and Anglo, that they're white supremacists. And, that's not what's going on. It's not what's going on. I know that the left is trying to continually start these race wars, which they're not going to be able to do. There's not that much of a racial divide. There are people that are still, racist, bigots, and so on and so forth. I mean, if disliking a sin makes me a racist, of course, I don't believe that I'm a racist if I don't agree with the LGBTQ community. I don't believe, these things because they're against the Bible. They're against God's laws. So I will always be against them. And there's nothing you can do to me that will change it. Nothing you can do. With that, folks, that's about it. That's about what I wanted to bring up. Keep your eyes open. There are a lot of crazy people out there, so definitely, know where your family is. Protect your family, protect yourselves. We're allowed to do that. Don't be in fear of it either. Just know where your family's going to be. Know the phone number, the address of where they're going to be. Somewhere where you can get in touch with them within 5 minutes. I mean, we need to know those things. Let's forgive each other. Let's not give offense or take offense. Let's just love each other like we're supposed to. That can be done. You take away all those temporary feel-good situations, those, drugs and the alcohol that people take just for a temporary relief or something. It's just so temporary. But the offside, the bad side could be a long time to get rid of. God bless you, everyone. Wednesday, I will see you again on Friday unless something comes up. They found a couple more volcanoes off the coast of Italy. They're finding volcanoes all the time now. Things are heating up. Ice is melting. And one question before I go, please. One question. okay? If this ice and these, things are melting, I went over this, I probably mentioned it already, but listen, when water freezes, the ice, the area expands, right? It expands into an ice cube. And so if it's sitting out there on the ocean and it's an ice cube, if it all melts, won't the area get smaller? Not create more water or more space. It won't flood the coastlines unless there's something else going on. But if you get a bucket of water and you freeze it and it, expands to the top and maybe overflow a little bit and it's frozen, but you go and melt it again, it's going to go back to where its old level was, right? It's not going to fill in more. It's just the things that they're putting out there to scare everyone, to be in fear of. It's just fear mongering everywhere. And you're a child of God, and we do not fear these things. If you do, just keep praying, because you shouldn't fear these things. Nope. Peace out, everyone.